In this video, you're going to see how to retrieve the Twitch lure to maximize your results. This is an amazing lure. If it's rigged properly and retrieved properly, this lure is absolutely amazing. And check out the retrieve. We call it the double twitch pause. So I basically do 2 twitches, right? 2 just quick, short movements up with the rod, and then let it pause. So that's basically bumping it off the bottom. 2 kind of quick, does 2 quick darts, and then it slowly glides back down to the water. Obviously, the speed of the glide down depends on the weight. And then that's really when the strikes happen. And what I do also, just to control depth, is I let my rod tip help control the depth. So when I start out, I usually start up, especially in shallow water, I start with the rod tip up. That way I can just feel everything. It gets the line off the water. But then once it gets close, I put the rod tip down. That way I'm not lifting the lure too far up off the bottom. This was filmed in the wintertime. Fish are not very aggressive, and so it really requires getting down right in their face. So here was actually the first catch. And you'll see again, same thing. I cast it out. It's about 1.5 feet deep. Let it go to the bottom. And then I start doing the same 2 twitch pause routine. And again, just wait for any sort of oddity. Sometimes the fish hits and comes towards you. And that was the case here where I actually didn't feel it. You'll see right then I couldn't feel it. So I kept reeling. And then I realized that a fish was on. Game on. And let me just show you the audio from Otis on how loud he was. And so you'll be able to see how pretty awesome it is that I actually caught more fish in this area. So as you can see, Otis was doing his best to make sure I caught no more fish after this one. Plus I ended up having to open the hatch to get the net out. This is basically exactly what not to do if you want to catch a bunch of fish in one spot. That's on the new Twitch lure. Beautiful trout. Just slurp down the twitch. So this was just 2 casts later. After releasing that trout, I assumed all the fish would be just gone, or at least be on high alert. But again, with a good lure, a nice slow retrieve, and if you get a good twitch right in front of a fish's mouth, it really can't help but to eat it. And so right here in a couple more twitches, watch my rod tip. You can see just a slight tap on the rod tip after the double twitch. And then I did a hook set and fish on. Unfortunately, this one got off. Oh, that was a nice fish. And so here's another strike I had really in the same area, and this was maybe like 4 or 5 casts later. And I was just, now that I know there's fish there and that they're still willing to eat, I was going very slow and just again doing the double twitch, speeding up the tempo a little bit. Sometimes go slower, sometimes go faster. Let the fish tell you what's actually working. And here pretty soon you'll see again, same exact situation where pretty much all the strikes happen after the twitch. There I felt it, let him have it, unfortunately missed it. One tip, so I was testing out a new rod here. This was a rod that's more of like a medium light. So be forewarned, if you're using medium light rods, that's not a good setup for weedless hooks. I was using the Haas Helix hook. Medium light is good for jig heads, not so good for weighted hooks. For weighted hooks, make sure you're using at least a medium power rod. All right, so this is just a little bit further down this shoreline. This was clearly a 90-10 zone, so I was taking my time, covering the area, and sure enough, there goes another nice fish. In case you didn't notice, I actually took a couple steps back there. I wanted to make sure that I got plenty of power to get this fish hooked and not let it come out. Again, the rod tip is a little bit lighter than I'm used to, so my normal hook set just wasn't doing the job. So again, be very mindful of if you're getting a good hook set or not. And just wanted to include this on here. What a beautiful sunset. Great way to finish off a day. So here's that fish in case you were curious. And one last thing, I wanted to show an example wade fishing. So the same exact strategy applies regardless of how you're fishing, or I guess I should say what you're fishing from. So in this case, I'm just in the water. I'm doing the same exact double twitch, right? Double twitch pause. And here in a second, you'll see a hook up with a real nice redfish. There we are. There we are. There's a fish. So that's the basics, really. That same exact retrieve can catch all species. Just stick to the basics, pay special attention to the retrieve tempo and to your depth coverage. And you should have a ton of fun with this lure. Any questions at all, comment down below. Otherwise, hope to see you again soon.